Starting recording and transcription. What? It auto transcribes everything? Dang. I tell you what, technology gets scarier and scarier. Okay, so as I had just said, let's head to campuscluster.illinois.edu. Start there. This helps you get this is the main page for the cluster. If we start with resources, documentation, and then go over to user guide, there's a lot of helpful information there. Specifically, the thing that's the most useful is the SSH client. So when we click user guide, we should get a page that looks like this. Under the connecting tab or the connecting heading, it talks a little bit about the access method and how we want to use SSH clients, how this is the login name for the cluster, and it gives us a couple of options for softwares to use when connecting. Up until now, I've actually been using two softwares, and yesterday when recording the first kind of raw draft tutorial, I realized that they do the exact same thing, which is a little embarrassing to notice while you're recording yourself. I have been using this secure shell. I also can't say secure shell without saying secure shell. The secure shell allows you to do file transfers within a GUI as well as work on the terminal. The PuTTY is just a straight up terminal. So I've been using the secure shell as a file transfer window or GUI, and then I've been using PuTTY as a terminal. This client actually allows you to do both. So I would recommend this as kind of our do everything software. When you click this link, if you follow this link for recommended installations, it'll take you to this website, Bitvice, and you should be able to download the free software here. Okay. Maybe not. Maybe it takes you to a different location. It takes you to a Google search. My apologies. Thank you very much for telling me that. How did I get that Bitvice? No, that's definitely the one I used. Wow. I don't even know how I pulled this up then, because I definitely I definitely pulled that up yesterday from that link. Let me see, sorry.
Be nice if they just had it as part of the Illinois web store.
Sorry?
It'd be nice if they just had it as part of the Illinois web store instead
Agreed. Yeah,
of
but yeah, agreed. It does not though. Or I haven't. Oh, I'm an idiot. Okay, so I was pointing at the wrong one. My apologies. So not this secure shell, but also this. I've been using this tunnelier. I think partly because I haven't been using this secure shell is I can't find one that looks legit. I don't know why, but for some reason this looks somewhat sketchy to me. Maybe not, but
just a little bit.
Okay, thank God. I'm not the only one that looks at that and goes, I don't know about these. So this to me looks at least like a legitimate website. So the tunnelier client allowing both safe transfer protocol support and terminal emulation. Those are the things that we've been using. So we end up going to this Bitvice, download it here, and we end up with some program. Let me see. I've got it all logged in at the moment. Let me close this. You can't see this, 1 second. So you'll end up with kind of a program that looks like this once you get it installed and working. So everybody take a second and see how far you can get in that install process. Hopefully it won't take too long. And hopefully everyone has the ability to make these installs. Since I'm sharing my whole screen and I've only got the one screen, I cannot see when everybody's good to go. So I guess just, or I can do this and everybody can view themselves in like the infinite view. Everybody good? Okay, yeah, take a second.
Yeah, Alan, I need a piece out from the meeting. I'll watch the recording later. I'm sorry.
Sure. No, that's no problem. Have a good one. Mike, do you have this installed? Or some similar SSH client?
No, I'm installing now, and
Okay.
it looks like it's kind of stalled.
Oh, great. Cool.
There's a terminal window up that the last line says backing up installer to, and then a file path. It's been at this place for 30 seconds now.
Okay. Anybody else having the same issue?
No, mine went pretty smooth once I remembered my admin password.
Perfect. Esra?
I downloaded.
Okay. And it's installed, okay?
Installed, pardon.
Okay, great. So Mike's the problem child. Typical.
Oh, it says
So I
it's
guess.
completed. I don't know why that terminal window just hasn't gone away.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, great. So now that we're here, hopefully everybody has a little window like this open, maybe. If actually, let me see. If I click and start my kind of Bitvice application, this is the first window that I get open. Does everybody get something like this?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so then using the main that user guide that we started to a second ago, this host name, we copy and paste that into this host server here. I don't remember exactly where it said, but port 22 is fine. We then go over to authentication. We use our NetID username. And then when we're ready to log in, we just go ahead and press login and it'll prompt you for your password. We use the password that's associated with our NetID. Should connect, and then you should see a couple of options change here and authentication completed in the dialog box that's here. And I guess the two important parts of that, well, I guess first, is that good? Is everybody?
No.
Okay.
I might need you to slow down a bit because my internet is not having it.
Oh, okay, sorry. Max, Esra, what about y'all?
In my screen, username, initial method, and elevation is written.
Okay.
I don't understand.
Here, this authentication screen is different?
Yes.
Okay, so we have username, and then initial method is?
Yes, password.
Password,
Yes.
okay. And then enable password over,
Okay.
I don't know what that is, and then elevation is default. So I think we're okay here. That looks the
Yeah,
same on my
sorry.
side. No, that's okay.
Yeah.
And then when you press login, you get a prompt for a password.
So port number should be 22.
I think 22 will work. I think we can use others, but yes, I believe 22 will work. Yep. I think that was a video that we watched. You can leave it at 22.
Okay, I think I'm caught up.
Okay, so good. So does Mike, you have authentication completed here?
I can't see where you're pointing.
You can't see where I'm pointing. Oh no, why not? Can you see anything about my cursor?
I did for a second when it was on the toolbar.
On the toolbar down here?
Yeah.
Weird. Okay. In the main, so then in the window where we've popped up, in this window that I'm trying to flash on the screen here,
Okay.
one of the bottom, it kind of does a running console output monitor. And there's the second from the bottom line for me says 1032 33 345 authentication completed. Did you get that when trying to log in?
No. Zed didn't try to log in yet.
Okay. Okay. Great. Max, Esra, y'all logged in okay? You'll have the authentication? Okay. Great.
So when I click login, it brings up another dialog that says host key verification. Either the connection to this host is being established for the first time, or the host key has been removed from or never saved to the database.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. And I'm thinking that means that it's looking for a particular like file that allows you a license key to get on to the server. So I'm wondering if one of these methods or elevation, like, do all of your, how do I put it, all of your inputs or all of your boxes match my boxes? Username, initial
Well,
method is
I have the username as my username, but yes.
correct. Yeah, it should be. Yeah, you're right.
Mike, I got that box as well. I clicked the one on the left, I believe.
Okay.
And it
Oh,
seemed to work for me.
Yeah, so there
okay.
are options there. You can
I guess maybe I did that. Maybe that happens the first time you log in and I did it and I've forgotten
Yeah.
what it is.
could very well be. The next
Okay.
line says, please contact the server's administrator and verify the received key. Accepting the host key without verification is not recommended. So clearly you can't.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Thank you for bringing that up, Mike. Yeah, just accept I just accepted the host key. I just accepted. Because the same thing happens when I try to use Putty to sign on. So if I quickly use the other terminal emulator to log in,
Mhm.
as you'll see. Think. Never mind. I lied. I swear every time I open up Putty, otherwise it asks for, hey, are you sure this is dangerous? But apparently not. I don't know. I must have finally clicked stop doing this. Always accept, and it took. I don't know. It finally took. Okay. So Mike, you're now authenticated.
Yeah.
After having accepted the sketchy host key.
I also got an email from the campus cluster program asking
Okay.
me to agree to an acceptable use policy.
Yes, that's right. You do. You do get that email.
I have agreed. I assume that's just like, hey, don't mind Bitcoin.
Yeah, and yeah, don't do illegal stuff, basically. Yeah.
Noted.
Yeah. It very much seems like a formality that they have to do, because if I
Sure.
remember correctly, when clicking through it, there's like very few rules, but they're all very
It's
broad and yeah, very broad and all encompassing. Okay, so now you should have a couple of options here. I've never used the new remote desktop, which could be kind of interesting. But this new SFTP, so I think this stands for Secure File Transfer Protocol window. If we click that option, we get to see a window that looks like this. We see two different sets of files here. It's basically a file explorer for your local machine paired with a file explorer for the node or partition on the right. And so the way to transfer files between the two is simply click and drag. As an example, if I bring the output of one of our Slurm runs back over here, it now shows up as a part of my now shows up as a part of my documents in my File Explorer when it was not there originally. Just to show it in real time. It gets transferred. It shows up in my File Explorer. So this is how we transfer files back and forth. There are other ways you can do it through the terminal. Of course, this is just a GUI, so it's maybe a little bit more intuitive. Second thing that I think is important to know about this Bitvice client is that we can use the new terminal console here. The new terminal console, if you remember what my putty screen looked like a minute ago, the console should pop up and give me, maybe now I'm going to get like 6 versions of the console because I've clicked. Channel open terminal. Well, I'm sorry. It worked yesterday. I don't know why it's not working this morning. Maybe it just takes a second. There we go. Okay, I don't know what took so long. I guess it just was a bad connection. So right now, this is the terminal that we have here. And so hopefully hopefully all of you can have access and see that the terminal. With this printout on the terminal, there's a couple of things that are useful to see. We have, and another good place to see this too is here on the Getting Started page of the Illinois cluster. We have access to 3 different directories from the command line and from our head nodes. We have access to a home directory, a projects directory, and a Scratch directory. Scratch is fairly large. As you can see, you can get like 240 or up to, well, I guess the hard limit for us is 10 terabytes of data, of space in the Scratch directory. But the Scratch directory is only temporary. It's regularly refreshed and deleted, and the information that you put there is removed. So it is meant to be a space where you kind of figure things out, test workflows or frameworks, and then translate that over to your project space for more permanent, for more permanent savings. So we have access. I think you should have the same 3 things I have here. You should have a home, you should have Scratch, and then you should have a project / ISWS GW modeling, which also should appear in your file transfer protocol window. You should have a home, you should have a Scratch, and you should have a projects. You may not have these auto-populated. I have them auto-populated because I've been traveling up and down. It probably started you here at some home directory in your head node, I guess.
Yeah.
So you can start by just doing projects. It'll take you to the entire projects menu, and you can search for our group, which, as I said, was ISWS GW modeling. All of you should have access to that. And this is kind of the blank folder where I've started building our East St. Louis work. Inside of this, we have all of our typical files. I've built a modeling environment here. We have the different input files, including some of the data files that need to be pulled, genetic algorithm history stuff, pickle jar. So it's all should be available and accessible to everyone here at this project directory. It may not auto-populate for you, but you can get to it manually. And then from that point, as you visit more and more of these directories, it should enable you to see them. In addition to that, down here in the terminal right now, the directory that I am currently in is the Scratch directory, but I can change my directory to be the projects folder, ISWS GW modeling folder, and then go even further to the East St. Louis folder And now here, there is, actually I wasn't in Scratch there. The only thing I could access was Scratch in that previous directory, but I've now changed to where the terminal is at the same location as I am in the file transfer protocol window. I have access to the environment folder, to several Python scripts, to several Slurm output files, YML file, et cetera, et cetera. So we can kind of access both sets of information through the terminal and through the file transfer protocol window. However, in order to run a particular job, we need to use the command line. So in order to actually run a task or give a task, a batch script to the compute nodes that we operate, we need to call that job or that script through the command line. I do not know of a way that we can run that file from the transfer protocol window. I guess the last thing I'll talk about before shutting up and letting questions is, as you know, the computing cluster is made up of tons of nodes, and it's constantly balancing useful information and tasks between all of the different nodes. There is, this is all of the different partitions and nodes that are available. The command I used was sinfo, S-I-N-F-O, and you can see that there's secondary partitions, there are different Illinois computes partitions, and then there's ours, ISWS, GWS. The point of showing you this is that there needs to be an overarching operating system that manages what cores are available to what projects and is constantly juggling which cores are working on which projects to ensure that everyone has as equal access as possible. And that process is called Slurm. It's an open source software that they use to kind of manage tasks and order of operations on the node. So if you hear me talking about Slurm, it is the operating system that helps run and optimize the computing tasks on the nodes. See if I can. There's some brief information. Yesterday when I recorded the tutorial on YouTube, when I used this input line, don't worry about all the different calls here. I want to put together kind of a useful cheat sheet of all of the different lines that I've had figured out from coding perspective. But the outputs are what I wanted to point out. It tells you which partition you're looking at, what the CPUs are doing in that particular partition. So which ones are allocated, which ones are in use by a project, which ones are idle, which ones are unused currently, what are in an other state. So other states might be draining, completed, completing, and then the total amount of cores that are available to this partition. Yesterday when I recorded my YouTube tutorial, 48 of our nodes were allocated to another project. However, I wasn't running anything, and that means that our nodes got used as a part of a job that was being run on the secondary queue. The secondary queue is effectively a way for people that don't have the money to invest in a particular node and guarantee themselves space. It's a way for them to be able to use compute resources, but they have to basically enter a wait list and wait their turn before their allotment of nodes is available. So the 48 nodes 48 of the 128 nodes that we had purchased were being used in a secondary queue task. And that showed up here with 48 being shown as allocated and 80 being shown as idle or currently waiting for a task to be assigned to them. It goes on to, this output goes on to talk to us about how much free memory is available with all of our nodes, how much memory we have available in total, how much we've purchased. We should have about, specifically, this is random access memory. This is RAM memory, not ROM memory. ROM memory or cold storage, if you will, we have 12 terabytes of information. Whereas random access memory, computing memory, we have 512 gigabytes, which for some reason shows up as 515 here. I'm not 100% sure on why that is. We then also, this shows the number of, in our node, this shows the number of threads, cores, and sectors, I want to say, but I don't think that's right. It's like a plug, basically, but I don't remember the S word that's used to mean plug. It basically just gives us sort of socket. Thank you. That is the word I was looking for, socket. This is socket, core, and thread. This basically gives us the hardware breakdown of the node itself. So we have basically 128 cores. Each core is paired in a particular socket. So each node has 2 sockets, and we have 2 cores associated with that. And the threading processes that are capable on each core is only 1. So we can't multi-thread or do use a particular core for multiple processes. We can't multi-thread effectively. I'm not 100% sure on what that means, but I do know that we can't do it based on the fact that we only have 1 thread. The state of the overall system of the model, or not of the model, of the node is listed here. In this case, it's idle. All 128 cores are idle. Yesterday, this was mixed because 48 of our nodes were allocated and 80 of them were idle. This just shows us the overall state of the node itself. For a quick update. So I'm sorry, that's maybe a little bit too much information, or maybe not even useful for the process that we wanted to get started on today. But hopefully that's a useful kind of lay of the land with how to read things, how to look at things, and how to run things. I guess what I want to look at next is the batch file here, but I'll pause a second and make sure that there are any questions. Like I guess I want to show you how to run something on the node very briefly, but I don't.
Yeah.
But I want y'all to have the time to ask questions first. Sorry, go ahead, Max. Yeah.
Real quick, I'm not able to see that projects directory.
You're not.
No.
When you go to projects and ISWS GW modeling, does it kick you out as saying you don't have access?
No, it just says I got the user's hard limit, and then that break line. I only got home and scratch. There's not the projects directory showing up for me.
Oh, here in the terminal.
Yeah.
I don't have home and scratch.
You don't have home and scratch. But you have projects ISWS GW modeling?
No.
Sorry, what was that?
Just the upper part, directory path, not the home, scratch, and projects.
You don't have any of this?
Yes.
Okay. Would you mind if, for both of you, would you mind sharing your screen just so I can see, and maybe I'll take a look and make sure that y'all are on the users list for that particular directory, but you should be. Max and Esra. Yeah, so
sure.
And the logins are there. So
I don't think that's going to be it because I accessed the groundwater modeling directory.
Yeah, you did, didn't you?
Yeah.
Leon, you were saying on our user home folders that it might take some time for the project folder to show up there.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I mean, it does seem like you can get there, right?
Can you deliberately link it, or is it just kind of like the system realizes you're accessing that a lot, so it'll put a shortcut there?
I don't know. For me, it was that it showed up at some point, and I never really paid attention to it anyway. I eventually figured out, oh, it's kind of a summary of what you can do. Oh, cool. But I didn't really I didn't pay any attention to it because I was more focused on how do I interact with the software. So Max, can you get ISWS GW modeling? Okay, can you? Oh, you're in projects. You're in that folder. Yeah, can you get it to change to where you're in the East St. Louis folder? Can you CD?
Do I have to type out the whole thing again, or can I just
No,
hop
you
up
should just be able
from?
to do.
Okay, cool.
You should be able to
Cool.
hop up E, capital S, lowercase t, capital L,
Is
capital
that it?
L,
I gotcha.
capital L.
Yeah.
Okay, give me a sec.
Try this. Yeah, it made me type out the whole thing there, Alan.
That's odd. I feel like you should just be able to hop up.
Right? I would think.
I mean, you were able to hop up other times.
No, I wasn't. It was giving me issues. That's why I was confused and tried it a couple
Oh.
times. But
Okay, but then if you use the command dir there, it
what, like,
uh,
yeah.
you should just see. Yeah, perfect. Okay, fantastic. That's
Yeah.
good. That's what we want to see. That's what we want to see. Esra, do you mind sharing your screen real quick? Yeah, I don't know, Max. To your question there, I think what Mike said is accurate. We may see the projects line pop up later. You should have access, and you should be able to. Sorry, you should have access, and you should be able to do it. So I don't understand why it's not letting you.
Right. Yeah, if I disconnect and come back, maybe it'll. Actually, I'm just going to
Maybe.
give that a shot while we're doing
Yeah.
this and
Okay.
see if
Fantastic.
it'll
Thank
go.
you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you don't have anything showing up here, Ezra. That is so odd. I mean, it must be that it takes a second, that it takes a few logins to maybe get to that point. Sorry about that. Yeah, so Ezra, in order to change directories, you'll want a space between CD and projects. So CD is the command to change directory, and then you'll / projects / ISW, and you can press tab at the. Oh no, it'll need to be ISWS first. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and then you can press tab, I think, and it should autofill for you. Yep.
So
And
you
then
can make a shortcut on your own.
oh, you can.
Maybe it does. Maybe it will eventually populate these things like you've had happen. But I was able to make a shortcut on my own. Sorry.
Okay. No, thanks, Mike. It's just showing us what's the. Oh, Ezra, can you go to the very front of that line? Is there a space before CD by chance? If you scroll all the way back to the very front of that line. Yeah, can you delete that? Maybe. You'll have to use your arrows to get over there rather than. No, that's the start of the line. Ezra, can you close this and open a new terminal? I'm sorry. Ah, now we have home and scratch. I'm sorry. Are you talking to me? I can't hear you. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think you're muted still. I'm sorry. Yeah, so it would be CD. What you had there was CD.
Thank you. I say
Mhm.
thank you.
Okay, yeah, sure. So let's try CD again there. Sorry. Yeah, space. Should be just / projects. Again, / ISWS. And you should be able to press tab for it to autocomplete. And then you should just be able to push E and tab and it should autocomplete again. Yeah, and tab should autocomplete. Yeah, try that. And then go ahead and press enter and perfect. And can you run the command dir? Great. Yep. Those are all of the
Thank
files
you.
that are in that folder. So perfect. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know why. So Max,
Thank you.
have you closed? Of course, that's right. Max, did you closed out the terminal? Did you close out and restart the terminal to see if you got that
I
link?
did. It did not populate.
Okay. Okay. But Mike, you said you were able to figure out how to add that shortcut.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Well,
You also
for
get
what
to
it's
name it
worth,
whatever you want.
I never did that. So that's something that. Okay, cool. I didn't know that, but that's very neat that you can add that as a shortcut. Okay, let's see. I'll start sharing my screen again. All right. So what I wanted to do is, well, I guess any other questions?
Yeah. So the okay, what you have in your directory, none of that has the little shortcut identifier on the folder. So like those are somehow like hard paths instead of a shortcut. And if you never set that up, then I'm guessing that we will eventually just those connections will be made. And
I think so. I mean, I never set that up. Yeah,
yeah,
I never set that up. I don't even know if,
interesting.
is that what it gives me if I sign into whoop, if I sign into
Oh yeah, I wonder if it's specific to this
Buddy,
service.
yeah. See, okay, see, I do every once in a while get this potential security breach. So I don't know.
And then I say, sure.
Yep. I don't mind logging into an unsafe portal. No, it's starting to pop for me here too. So I don't know. Okay. Yeah. Any other questions? Does everybody, I noticed on y'all's screen, y'all were just looking in the terminal window. Was everybody able to open the SFTP window as well? The new secure file transfer protocol window so that they're able to get these two file explorers side by side?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, fantastic, thanks. Again, I can't see y'all, so nodding is difficult for me to follow. So what I wanted to do really quickly is create a duplicate of this file that's here and just kind of walk through what it does. So this is the file that if we go back to here, the batch script is what tells the compute node what to do. So in this instance, this file provides a list of commands that Slurm needs to know about how long we think the model run needs to take, how many nodes are we going to use, how many tasks are we planning to send to our node. And those are all prefaced by sbatch, the hashtag symbol, sbatch, and then some command and some specifications. Okay. Then beyond these specifications that the node needs to know, or that that Slurm needs to know in order to optimize our node's runtime or our task's runtime. After that, we then pass it a string of, or a set of commands that we would type in the terminal to be able to do certain tasks. So as you can see, this first task is actually what we just did. That first task is exactly the same as our very first call to the project in the terminal. Change the directory to East St. Louis. Change the directory to East St. Louis. So first thing we do is make sure that the batch or the node knows that we want to be working in this particular directory. The next thing that we do is load the Anaconda module, basically load in a Python module or an Anaconda module to use as our processor, our interpreter, because we're going to run some Python scripts. The next thing that we do is activate the particular environment that we have built in the on the server or on the node. So we take the time to go into this environment and say activate it as the interpreter or interpreter environment or virtual environment for our model run. Then this line, I actually don't know what it does 100%, but what it does tell the Linux system is that within modflow directory, within the file modflow directory, and there is an MT3D USGS file within there. This provides the directory to a particular file, and somehow this at the beginning, this is copy paste from Google, so I don't know the full setup and story here. This first half of this line basically tells the Linux operating system that the file that we have directed you to with this path is an executable. Use it and run it as if it's an executable. So we are telling it in this instance that this MT3D path or this modflow application is an executable, or when it gets called by the Python script, it will be used as an executable and not as a dud file that it doesn't know what to do with. Finally, the last thing we do is activate Python and say run this script within Python. This script lives in this folder, so that's why we don't need to specify a location for it. We just say run the particular script that should be right where you are. The batch file and the script are right next to one another, so it should just be the file name, and it takes everything and runs it. So what I'd like to do in this example is back up a little bit and do something somewhat simple. What I'd like to do is I'm going to pass the example file over to the remote computer. It should, I'm going to pass the example file over to the remote computer. What I'd like you to do is pull it from the remote computer back, and we'll make to your local machine, and we'll make some changes. We can then push all of our examples to the remote, and maybe we can try running some of those examples, if that makes any sense. So let me change this name one more time so that it is my example file, and everybody else can have their unique example file. So what I'd like to do is change a few things. So the first thing I'm changing here is the name of the actual job that we're going to pass to the node. I just want to attach a name to it so that when you view it here, when you view it actually running there, you can grab the name of the job and see how far into the process it is. We want to make sure that it runs on our partition. I'm only going to use one node, one task. I'm going to try to do something fairly simple here. Let's see. What are the other things that I wanted to do here? Perfect. I'm sorry, I'm thinking here. File, new file. Okay. And actually, I'm going to rename that one more time. Sorry. Guess this is maybe not important, but I wanted to just do this so everybody could be. Okay. Pull this over here. There's one test file. And then what we can do here is the job time shouldn't take any time at all. So I'm actually going to, what I'd like to do is I just created, so just with this test AEJ, I just created a blank or a very simple Python script saying hello world, and it'll have my name attached to the end of it. What I then want to do is take this example file. The time that it's going to take to run this, it should take no time at all, not even 30 minutes, but we're going to tell the computer that, or tell the node, the setup that we want to run it, that it should take no longer than 30 minutes. We're going to say that we want to use one node. We only have access to one node. We want to say we use one task per node. So there's only going to be one core used during this time. The memory usage, it's not going to take any memory. So this 7,000 is fine. This is how much memory per core are we allotting in this task. We can then change who gets mailed information about when this script starts and when this script finishes. And what I'd like to do next is here, instead of calling the GA, I'm going to call test underscore AEJ.py. Let's see. We don't need this command for this example, and we should be good with just that. Now what I'm going to do is transfer this over to the remote files. So hopefully everybody should see both the GA batch AEJ example.yml in their remote files and test AEJ. You may be thinking, oh gosh, I don't see that. That's because for some reason you have to refresh very often for it to actually grab the most recent picture of what's there. So refreshing regularly when you look at the files that are available at that particular directory is really useful. So I'm going to just double check that those showed up here. I have test aej.py in the East St. Louis directory, as well as I have the GA batch example file. Perfect. Okay. So what we would then do, so hopefully, I know I'm a little bit scattered on this and I apologize. What's happening is we're changing the directory, the 4 commands that we want the batch to actually do, or the nodes to actually do, is we're changing the directory, we're loading in Anaconda, we're activating this environment, and then we're running this script using Python. That's what's happening. We're running this script using Python. That test AEJ script, which all it does is one print statement with my name attached. And so hopefully if we come over here, we can then run, now that we have access to test AEJ in our directory, and we have GA batch AEJ example, we can then do a command here, sbatch GA batch AEJ example.yml. We're given a job number by submitting. If we look at the same info statement we printed above, we should see that one CPU is allocated or has been allocated to the partition. And this job number should be associated with an output file that we got here. This job number, 9122306, is associated with an output of the Slurm documentation, 9122306. And we're able to see when we open that output file that Alan doesn't know what he's doing when it comes to coding, but it printed out the error that we had for within this test AEJ file. What was the issue? The issue was that that format needs to be inside of the print statement. Okay, let's try that again. Now, if we put this here, yes, we want to overwrite what's existing there because we've changed it. We overwrite it, so now this, you can actually temporarily view that file, I think. Or have I done that before? Don't save. We've updated that file recently, my apologies, and then we can run it again here. Let's go ahead and run the same thing. Hopefully we get a better result. We now have a new job number because we've sent a second task to the nodes or to the cluster. Oh, and I've sent it a third time. That was not intended. And they both completed so quickly that we actually can't even see that anything was allocated at the time when we looked. Now, if we go here and refresh, we now see two other output files, a 309 and a 310, both of the same size. They should just say, hello world, Alan. So what I was going to say, or potentially recommend, is if you'd like to figure out if that works for you, you could go in, maybe change this test AEJ so that it reads your name here. Look at this batch example, tests, change it so that you can have your mail user information here and your job name here and your Python code name here. And you can kind of run a simple test that should show you how just get you kind of comfortable with the SBatch call, the GA complete call, and so on and so forth.
Yes, Alan. I have a problem.
Oh.
I don't have permissions.
Oh, you don't have permissions. What does that mean?
Yeah. So I downloaded your test aej.py. I edited it.
Yeah.
That's hard to say. And then when I went to put it back, it didn't work. And I looked at the log, and the log told me I did not have permissions.
You should. Okay, give me a second. You should have permissions. At least as far as I understand them. You tried to put test AEJ back. Can you show me just real quick so I know exactly where the issue occurred? Because you should have access. You should have permissions.
So I copied this over, and I copied this over. I renamed them and made my edits. So they're over here with those edits ready. And then if I click and drag this, see the upload queue just flashed and the log flashed. And then if I hit refresh, it's not there.
Okay.
If you look at the upload queue, message at the end.
Permission denied. Permission denied. I don't know. Oh wow. Okay.
Is it down here too?
Yeah. That's very confusing. I feel like you should have permission. Okay, well, what I can do, how about this? I'm glad we're doing this then, because okay, let's try this. So what I'm doing on my side is I'm attempting to add an allocation manager, someone who has the permissions to both, yes, add and change things. I don't know. Let's try this. Okay. Now maybe you might need to.
Yeah, I'll log out and log back in.
You may need to log out and log back in. It also seems odd to me that I can't set read-write privileges here under user. Hmm. Max, Esra, did either of you try doing what Mike did, the moving of the files around and seeing if anything worked?
Not yet. I will try to transfer one over here in just a second, though.
No problem. Just
Says
wanting
transfer failed.
same thing.
Yep. It also says, I didn't read this the first time, but it says opening remote file. Then it has the string for the file path. Failed. And that path is on the shell, the project's ISWS GW modeling, ESTL. Not sure why it felt the need to open it. I mean, it's just what it means by as part of its transfer process, it has to open it. I don't know.
So you logged out, logged back in,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't get. Okay, let me take a look here. What I'm wanting to look at is I can clearly set some permissions here.
Yeah, I got the same permission denied error.
Okay. How about this? Can either of you can you do the exact same thing I did? Can you run my batch example?
I could if I remembered how to do it. Could you remind me?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. That's tricky. Hopefully I'm sharing my screen now. The call is sbatch and then the name of the file. Oh no, I'm not sharing my screen. Sorry. No, I'm sharing my screen. Yeah, sbatch and then the name of the file.
It told me unable to open file.
Yeah, same. I also, in the terminal now, it shows that I have home and scratch, where it didn't before. So I don't know if that's part of the admin privileges you gave me. I don't know if it's admin, whatever the privileges you gave me.
You can now see, what is it? Home, scratch, and what?
Just home and scratch
Oh, could you?
in the terminal where I couldn't see it before.
Oh. Okay. All right. Mike, when establishing a new connection, how did you do that? I guess what I want to
I don't
ask
know
is,
what
did you log all the way
establishing-
out? Did you log all the way out,
Yes.
or did you just close and reopen the terminal?
I
Okay.
logged all the way out.
Yeah. Okay. Y'all can't read. That's so interesting. It's so. I'm so sorry. One more time. What did it say? It said permission, or like cannot open file.
Hey, Alan, could it possibly because it's open on your end that it won't run it? I wouldn't think though, because it's remote.
Where is it open on my end?
The GA batch AEG example.
Where is it open? Here in this folder here, or in this file, or in this window here. This Atom.
Yeah.
This is that's a good question. This is a local copy. So this is
Gotcha.
this copy.
Okay. Oh,
don't
I see.
have-
Gotcha.
I don't have the one that's on the remote open.
Gotcha.
That's a good question though. That's a good question. Thinking, sorry. Wow. Okay. What does it, I'm sorry, one more time for me. What does it say? What's the cannot open, permission denied?
I'm gonna post it in the chat, assuming
Yeah.
Mike has the same one as me.
Yeah, what you read off sounded the same. Yep.
Unable to open file. Even with .yml? Did you both, can I see, did you
Let me see.
include,
I don't
did you include the
believe
.yml in the
I did not.
sbatch call? Can you try sbatch and then .yml?
Yep, that worked.
Hey.
There
Okay.
we go. Okay. Yeah, that'll do it.
That did not work for me.
Okay, so it worked for Max though.
Maybe I have a typo. Give me a second.
So Max, then I'm trying to see if I can see it on my side. Do you have a job number?
Yes, I do. It's 9122640.
640. And do you on your side see a Slurm output for that?
Let's see. Would that appear in my
Should be here in your remote, like in your remote files. It doesn't pop up for me. Can you give me the example or
No.
the file name again?
Yeah, I ran.
Or not the job number. Job number. Sorry.
Sorry, no, you're good. 9122640.
It's not sinfo. It's S account. Ah, yeah, here's the example of socket core threads. Okay. This one. That's the one I want.
When I run that SBatch call, do I have to be like CD'd into a specific folder?
You shouldn't have to be. Well, yes. Well, yes. Yes, you do. Oh, okay, cool. So actually, so your run failed, Max. That's great to know. Yes, you do, because if you are calling it, so right now, if you call it, mine would fail too if I called SBatch example, because I'm in the projects folder. If you're in the projects folder, if I back all the way up to the projects folder, there is no YML file there. There is like that YML file doesn't exist there. So I would have to do something like, oh yeah, projects, run the file that's ISWS. Okay, doesn't work. ISWS GW modeling EESTL, and that unable to open file projects. Well, I'm just looking like ISWS GW modeling ESTL. Unable to open file. Okay. Let's see if I just switch back up. Oh, wait a minute.
It worked.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, I just specified the full file path instead of CDing into it.
Right, yeah. I don't know why mine didn't work to do that then. I must have just, it may need the dot. I don't know.
Maybe a typo.
Well, it's very possible. Oh, now mine worked. Okay, great. So Mike, what was your job number?
9122-963.
Yours ran, supposedly, and completed. But I don't have an output for you. That's interesting. And then, let's see, mine was 6.5. Mine failed because it got canceled.
I also don't have an output. It's weird. So it starts the output file immediately, right?
Yeah, it should. Yeah, it should. Yeah, it should. Or as far as I understand, maybe I'm. Ooh, that was cool. Yeah, I don't see either yours nor Max's output. See, how about a shape are we in? That's idle. So it says it should run. Maybe it's just trying to do too many batch calls at once. Yeah, maybe it just didn't like being asked to do too many things at once. Max says it's idle. Sorry, I'm trying to. Yeah, no, just give me info on the partition. It's available. It's up and running. Okay, Mike, yours looked like it completed, right? That's what we saw here. Completed. Okay. Okay, but Max, if you run yours, can you try running yours again?
Yeah, sure thing. And I am in the ESTL files, so.
Good. Yeah, in
Yep.
that folder. Okay,
Yep,
great.
yep. All right. Submitted batch job 9122973.
Okay, it's not running yet. Not running yet. There you go. It again failed.
Huh.
Exit code 03053, same here. Exit code 053. Mike's completed fine. Okay, but at least you're able to run it, which I will take as a partial win for now. Esra, did you give a try to run in any of the SBatch files?
Yeah, I lost. I will watch again and I will do that.
Okay.
Like-
I mean, I can. Okay, we could also make sure that you can do that on your side. But okay, if you'd like to watch it later, we can do that too. All right. So this is I'm not happy with the fact that the permissions seem to be hanging everybody up. So I don't like that. We're also not getting, Mike, you didn't get an output on your side after a while here.
Not yet, no.
Okay.
I should have had like 5 by now.
Yeah, we should have had a lot more. Should have had a lot more based on.
My outputs are going to my home folder because that's I'm not CD'd all the way into the STL folder.
Oh, I like it because that's what should be happening for me too. Oh, did I drop a whole bunch of things in the projects folder?
They all
in the
say hello
projects
world
folder.
Alan, which is frustrating because I'm not Alan.
Well, that's good though, but that's the file you ran.
I know,
right?
I'm teasing.
Yeah. So Max, what about you? If you go look at your home,
Or whichever folder you were CD'd into at that point.
well, yeah,
You
Max.
mean, what do you mean by that?
So here in your terminal, which directory were you in? You were in the East St. Louis directory?
Yeah, on the right, I was in the East St. Louis. On the left, I was just on my desktop.
But wait. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Yes. So we're looking at the file transfer protocol window here.
Yes.
That is not what I mean. In the terminal, where were you?
Oh, in the terminal? Let's see. Let me check my directory just to make sure. Well, it just says ESTL. When I type directory, it gives me quite a few things.
Okay, like env inputs, modflow directory,
Yeah,
modules.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. So
All
you
that
were
jazz.
CD'd all the way into the East St. Louis directory, which is good.
Yes.
But that's really interesting, Mike. So you got your outputs to.
My
You
home
got your
folder,
your
'cause I
home
hadn't-
folder.
I hadn't gone anywhere other than that.
Wow, okay, cool. I've never done that before.
That's because I used the full path, right, to specify
Right.
the
batch
file.
Yep. No, that's perfect though. I think that's what's happening, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay. Got a number. 976. That's gonna fail. But I want to see if that pops in my home as well, because I backed up to be. Oh, Mike, you so smart. Yeah. Okay, well, that's really cool. I did not know that. But why? Let me think. So Max, if you do the same process, if you in your terminal back all the way out to the home directory,
Okay.
and you should be able to do that by just pressing CD If you just give the command cd, it'll take you all the way to your home directory,
Okay.
and then run sbatch projects. Like you have to then type in the whole string.
Sorry, buddy. Gotta go down for a second. All right. I'm wondering if it's maybe because we don't have access to transfer
too.
files in that we don't
Me
have
too.
access to write to it. That'd be my guess.
Me too. I'm wondering that same thing. If there's a weird permissions glitch, and that's why the outputs aren't writing to that folder, which again, all of you should have access to that. I'm very confused as to why you don't. I mean, I've let's see, manage users. If I go here to ISWS GW modeling, you are all listed as allocation managers. I don't know on that folder. So you should, I feel like, should be able to write to that folder. You know what though? Maybe I was a dummy. Hold on. Maybe. Okay, wait, Max, have you run the thing I told you to run yet?
Yeah, I just ran it. It said
Okay.
submitted batch job. Sorry, but where do I check that out? I guess I just back out of this directory all the way.
So you can just click the home button.
Oh yeah, here's a Slurm output from. Yep, that'd be it.
Cool. All right. Next thing I want y'all to try, take a look at, don't go into the East St. Louis folder. Just go into the ISWS GW modeling folder. I wonder if the permissions for the East St. Louis folder is wrong, and I need to figure out how to fix that. Can you write a Slurm output to the ISWS GW modeling folder?
I'm gonna try transferring a
Yeah, that'll
file
work too.
in there real fast.
Sure, that'll work too.
I can transfer a file into that one, yeah.
You can. Can I see
can.
it? Why can't I see it?
Oh, never mind. I was I backed out a directory. My mistake.
No, you're good. Properties, permissions.
Yeah, I was able to put a folder in or a file into the ISWS GW modeling folder, but not the ESTL.
Okay, yeah, try again on the ESTL, because I just realized that for some reason the properties, the permissions were not set to where y'all could write. You could read, but not write.
Perfect.
I don't know. That's so sorry, all. That's so
Yeah.
embarrassing.
That's
Okay.
all good. No, I can put a file in there now.
Oh yeah, there's Mike. There's Max. Oh my gosh, it's like they all just went straight through because oh, that's so frustrating. Okay, well,
Yeah, we
glad
got it now at least.
glad we fixed that. Okay, good. So then let's see. From my side, can I now run? Projects. ISW. To me. GA. Batch. MQ. Yes. Oh, because I'm doing CD. My bad. Okay. S batch. S batch. GA batch. Oh, this is interesting. I can see Max's examples here, but I can't see them in the terminal.
Huh.
I can see Mike's examples in both places, but I can't see Max's for some reason. Why is that? Okay, well, I'm still gonna try running Mike's example. Let's see. S batch, GA batch, MP. Okay. Got a successful job.
Yeah. And Alan, to cut you
And-
off real quick, I was able
Yeah,
to
go for it.
run a test, and it did write the Slurm file out to this ESTL folder.
Perfect. Yeah, mine just did the same thing running from Mike's files.
Nice. Yeah, it looks like we're all up and running.
Good. Mike, do you have yours set up in a much cooler way?
I don't know what that means.
Are you automatically finding the username? Because that's
No,
what it
no, I typed that in.
Oh, okay. I was hoping that I didn't know how to do that quickly, but I
Yeah,
would have liked it to be find the user, put the user in here so that whoever runs the output rather than having
Yeah.
to manually change it. Oh well, maybe I'll one day figure that stuff out.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So Mike, you're online. Max, you're online. Esther, I know there was a lot of stuff that happened there really quickly. Do you want to get do you want to take a look at where you are and see if we can get that set up for you?
Yeah, I don't want to take the Mike's and Max time. I can watch the video again and I will try to figure it out. Thank you.
Oh, okay, sounds good. All right, let's see. Okay, that's where we're at. So everybody has the opportunity to get in and get stuff moving, and get stuff running. Good. Things seem to be connected. That's good. So to me, next step for what we had hoped to accomplish today was to try to get the React packages and whatnot working and running up on the cluster. I guess before we do that, we've been on the call for about an hour and a half. Maybe we should give everybody like 5 minutes or so to run to the restroom if you need, take a break, and we can jump back on in just a minute and start the more thorough running through of files, getting things connected to get that set up. How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. All right. Thank you all. We'll jump back in just a minute.
Cool.
Hey.